Welcome to A Well-Designed Business with your host, Luann Nigara. Luann has a lifetime of experience building a multi-million-dollar business with her husband and cousin, and she knows the challenges you face in your interior design business. Luann brings you real-life answers to your most pressing problems, as well as practical strategies to explode your interior design business. So, let's get to the business of interior design.
Hi, welcome to another episode of A Well-Designed Business. I have a friend of mine on the show today. Remya Warrior is with me. Remya is an interior designer here in New Jersey, and she has a master's degree and 14 years of experience in the field. Remya is active both in the WCAA, which is the Window Coverings Association of America. She is currently the vice president of the New Jersey chapter, and also in ASID New Jersey, where she is the featured Tech Talk host. And we'll talk about that on the show. You'll hear all about what that is. Remya is an avid cook who enjoys cooking for her friends and family, and she believes that the kitchen is the heart of the home, and this is what led her to specializing in kitchen design. And then being an active member of WCAA led her to falling in love with window treatments and specializing there as well. So the thing is, too, what's really interesting is there was a line on Remya's website that I saw when I was doing some more research about her that really hit me between the lines, and I never remembered to ask Remya about it in the conversation, but I wanted to make sure to mention it to you. Right there it says, I help busy middle-income families create a home that they love. You hear that? I help busy middle-income families create a home that they love. I love that. And I have to tell you, view or whatever, first thing I do is go to your website. And when I get there, what I'm looking for is you. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for what do you do? What makes you different? Because you know that's what I'm looking for on the show, right? So for my purposes on the show, I want something that sets you apart from every other designer that I talk to. But guess what? Your clients want to find you too. They want to find something there at your website that sets you apart from every other designer's website that they're looking at and contemplating hiring. Now, you might have said, I think that I help busy middle-income families create a home that they love is way too narrow or too niche. It's going to eliminate, the luxury client. It's going to eliminate all the high-end people. It's going to eliminate, all the couples. It's going to eliminate all the singles. But you know what? How many busy middle-income families do you think are in New Jersey? I think there's quite enough to keep Remya very busy for many, many years. So what happens is if I happen to be a mother or a father of a busy middle-income family and I'm looking for a designer and somehow I land on Remya's site, what am I thinking? I'm thinking I'm home. I found my spot. She gets me. So I had forgotten to bring it up in the interview, but I just thought it was so good and so important that I wanted to make sure that I brought it up and pointed it out to you guys. All right. Now, before we get to the show, let's talk about curatedcravat.com. I mentioned a week or so ago how I really thought it is a brilliant idea to use curatedcravat.com not only for your projects, sourcing lighting, area rugs, furniture, bedding, and more, but I think it's a really good place to do some holiday shopping. I mean, I looked before I said. I thought, let me just see if my theory is right. And you know what? There are more than a few vases, $20, $14, $30, more than a few accent tables, $80, $90, pillows, $75, all kinds of items that I thought would be really perfect as hostess gifts if you're invited to some parties this holiday season, or as gifts for special clients, and how about for your mom too? I mean, what the heck? Moms like pretty stuff. So the point is, if you have yet to go look at curatedcravat.com, then please head over there. It's www.curatedcravat.com and see all the things that they have there for you. Remember, if you have not used the code yet, you get your entire purchase at 10% off with the code CKPodcast at checkout. So you could actually stack a whole bunch of, holiday presents and, different things in there for clients, your friends, your families, your neighbors, you're going to parties, and get 10% off on all of it. So I'm just saying. Anyway, design, click, deliver with curatedcravat.com. Alrighty, let me introduce you to Remya. Hey, Remya, thank you so much for joining me on A Well-Designed Business today.
Oh, thank you, Luann, for inviting me.
I know.
It's so great.
I'm happy. I love when I have my friends on the show. But I have to say, I just said to you off air, and I've said it to a couple of other people, when I know you and we're friends through, through our businesses and through the networking meetings and things that we do together and for the different markets that we've been to together, I have to be careful because I've noticed that I sometimes am not as good an interviewer because I already know a lot of stuff in the back of my head. And so I have to really I've learned in this last several months, it was one of my aha moments that when I'm interviewing somebody that I know pretty well, like you, I have to really be A game. I have to really lock it down.
I think you're always on your A game.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. See, this is why we're friends, Remya. Okay, so here's the thing. You're doing a lot of really interesting things with your business, and I've always admired you for the things that you're doing. And we're going to talk about a couple of different topics today. We're going to talk about, you have a 7-step process that you follow for knocking it out of the park with networking. So we're going to definitely take that apart. And then I also wanted to talk about the 2 other things that you do, which, well, one you have since turned away and decided not to do, but it was called Coffee Break. And that was for your own website. You did videos and interviews with people, conversations with people that were directed to the consumer, talking about design products and projects and processes, but to the consumer. So it was a resource for clients who found your website, right, Remya?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
How long did you do it, and how many episodes did you do it for?
So I was doing Coffee Break. I started it as part of a mastermind group that I belonged to. So I had done, I was working with Michael Port at that time, and I had this nice big group of mastermind buddies. And everybody at that time started doing some kind of a video interview series or something like that. So I basically just jumped on, and I really wanted to do it because it was so exciting. And I started doing it. Okay. But initially, I wasn't very clear on who my target market was at that point. And I think it is necessary to have that clear in your mind before you jump into something like this, because otherwise you don't get the results that you think you're going to get.
Right. Well, and that's the truth for anything we do, right? Whether it's a video marketing campaign, if it's a print campaign, if it's a lead, funnel campaign, you have to know, what I always say is you have to know what's your why. Why are you doing it? Because then you can tailor it directly to that why, right?
Exactly. So that was my one thing, but I did do it for 2 years.
Wow.
I did do it for 2 years, but initially my what I had, or the interviews that I did were with fellow people who did the kind of coaching that Michael does. It was all Book Yourself Solid coaches, because I was learning with them.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was more like what you have going on with this particular thing that you're doing, right? With this podcast. So your target market is basically people within the industry.
Right.
But you were very clear right from the beginning.
Right.
Whereas I was a little bit wishy-washy. And it was all about dreaming big. And I just found out that I could do a lot of stuff that I never thought was possible. So I was so excited about all that. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this.
You're nuts. I love you.
And I really enjoyed doing it. Here are the lessons, right? So I knew, okay, I'm not doing it right because I know I'm not seeing the ROI that I think I could see. So then I had to revamp and then go, okay, what am I doing wrong? Then I knew, okay, if I need this to help me in my business, I need to tailor it to the people who are going to buy from me.
Right.
So my second season of Coffee Break was all about design.
Okay. I must not have seen any from the first season. I had watched some from the second season then.
Okay. Yeah. So second season was all about design. So I had people who talked about draperies and I think I interviewed you a little bit, a small little part where we talked about motorization.
Right, from my showroom, right? Yep,
yes.
I remember that.
Yes. So it was all based on that. But here are the things that I learned. One is I learned how to be very comfortable on camera, and I realized that I really loved it. I also realized that if I had to do it by myself, and I'm doing just me on camera, I don't sound as good as if I can play off the other person's energy.
Okay.
So I can be very good at interviewing people.
Okay.
Which is great. The second thing that came out of it is I got to really connect and collaborate with other designers and show that I could be valuable to them. And I believe that's how we connect.
Yes, it's right? So true. It is. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And that was really awesome too. And then Go ahead.
The third thing.
No. And the third thing was Tech Talk. Right. I landed Tech Talk because of that.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the Tech Talk
I stopped.
Oh, no, go ahead. Let's tell them what Tech Talk is. So Tech Talk is for the New Jersey chapter of American Society of Interior Designers. You take a topic every single month, right?
Yeah.
And something in tech, and you interview, you do a live webinar, you became the ambassador from ASID New Jersey to produce these things, and the designers can join in real time, right? Or it goes into the archive in the library on the YouTube channel where you can access it and watch it at any time.
Yes.
Right. Okay, good.
Exactly.
So you're saying that you learn how to be comfortable on camera, you learned that you're better at interviewing than solo, you learned that you could connect and collaborate, increase your network, and it opened it up to Tech Talk. So tell me where you were going to go from there.
Okay. So, and the Tech Talk has really taken off very well. So I'm really thrilled about that. So once I started doing both Tech Talk and Coffee Break, it just got to be a little bit too much for me.
Okay.
So that's why I thought, okay, Tech Talk is right now helping more people. And because I hear a lot of people, a couple of people when I was attending some of the live networking events would come to me and say to me, oh my God, I really love you. You're really helping my business a lot and stuff like that.
Oh, isn't that something?
It really is, right? It gives you you get that chills and you get that feeling that, okay, after all, I am contributing something in this life.
Right. No, it's true. It's so nice when I'm so happy to say that I share that with you. I have lots of people that reach out to me all different ways through the week. And I'm always amazed that somebody takes the time to stop and to do that. And it's really nice when they do, isn't it?
Oh my God, it really is, because that's the only thing that is keeping you from, that's one thing that motivates you to keep doing it, right?
Absolutely. And to do it at the level that you do it at, to just not to go like, okay, good enough is good enough. It's like, no, people are depending on this. People are, and I'm just going to I'm going to out myself here on this. You and I interviewed a couple of months ago, and I listened to the interview and I just said, we have to do this over again, because I really was guilty of knowing you and not being as good an interviewer. And I was just like, Remya, that's not my A game. I need to do it again. I don't think I think that I think I've done 4 interviews over a second time out of 270.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And 2 have been because of exactly that. It was, you and one other was because I was just too comfortable and really didn't lock it down. And the other 2 were from a technical standpoint, it was unsalvageable. And so it's crazy though. But so it is. When you realize that people are relying on you and they're depending on you and they're enjoying what you're doing, it does give you the motivation to keep doing it and to do it well. And you do the Tech Talks really well. You're great at it. So the thing is though, that turned away from building an ROI for your business, and you just decided that at this point in this chapter of wherever you are in your business at this moment, that the Tech Talk was better for you. You're getting more satisfaction out of helping your fellow designers and increasing your network through it probably. And you've turned other ways to working the business, like this networking that we're going to talk and so forth. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's all about networking, right?
Right. Right.
So when I looked at the ROI, I thought TikTok was giving me more than Coffee Break was giving me, even though that was something which I was doing as part of my business. And this, I'm doing it for free for ASID, right? Yeah. But I still believe that TikTok has been giving me more ROI because a lot more people know me.
Right.
I'm able to approach a lot of people. And if I need to collaborate on something, it's so much easier for me to say that, okay, I'm doing this for TikTok. I mean, TikTok is being produced by ASID New Jersey. That gives me more value than Coffee Break being produced by Remya Warrior.
Right.
So it is definitely, it gives you a little bit more of like, what would you say? Like if you had to,
credibility.
Yep. Yes.
Right.
So I think, and that is really very, very cool because of that, I had interviewed Joseph Cephas, who is like ASID's VP of Communications. I got to talk to Adam Japko, who did like simplifying the digital marketing. I spoke to Joseph Hecker. Hacker or Hecker, I don't know. I always do that.
Hecker, Design Wall.
About Design Wall. I spoke to Lauren Byrne, who shared Pinterest strategies with us. Dixie and Rachel.
Yeah, and Sarah Daniele from IDOMA, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, being able to connect with these people whom I feel are a little bit more ahead in the business life, or like if we have to like look at what is that? A page? No. If we are all writing a book, some people are a little bit ahead of you.
Right.
So I feel that you're in that category. All of these people are in that category. And I got to connect with you because of TikTok.
Right. Now, have you used any of these collaborations to have you had occasion for your business, in other words? So maybe you ran into a project that was, I don't know what, you needed a resource or a vendor. Have you connected with people in that way that have resulted in that? Or is it really just getting you out of your own box a little bit, and that is the ROI for you now, the connections in the community and feeling a part of something bigger?
I think on two accounts, I would say it is part of me becoming a bigger person. Right? The connectivity. And I know today I have more value than when I was perceived before I was doing the TikTok.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think in a lot of ways that has happened, but directly into the business, it hasn't yet happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also, too, all the things, like I know for me, look, I'm in business. I say it like a broken record, 100 million years, but every conversation I learn something from somebody. So I bring that back to WindowWorks with me. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, little bit that I learn. I mean, everybody has something to teach us, no matter how many years we're in business here. I'm so thrilled to learn something from everybody every time I talk with them. So I'm sure all of those opportunities for all those interviews with everybody is also just enhancing you as a person, as a business person, and therefore you're taking it, almost subconsciously to your business.
Right. I mean, and also like, like doing that tech talk with, about digital marketing with Adam, right? It basically ups my game because I'm learning from that.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, Pinterest, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just there, just pinning just for fun.
Right.
But then there is a strategy behind that.
Actionable.
I mean, who knew?
Right, exactly. I know. It's one of my topics. I've got somebody lined up on Pinterest. It's coming up because it's the truth. It's like, all right, let's break this down. What are we supposed to be doing here? That's a pretty picture.
Exactly. I mean, and there are so many different tools that you can use for all these things, which I had no idea about.
Right.
So all these things have definitely helped me in my business.
Right. And now let me ask you something. If any designer is out there listening and thinking, what is this tech talk? And my chapter doesn't have it. So, Remya, if somebody were listening and they were in, ASID, Ohio, say, and they're thinking, this sounds interesting to me. what are you doing? Are you doing it on Zoom and you're just as simple as in lining up an interview, reaching out into the greater community on somebody that has some value to teach designers with their business, much like the guests on the podcast. So it's the same pool of resources and people. Right. And you are sending them a Zoom link, and then the Zoom is recording the two of you. And what happens? All of the members of the chapter know that every Wednesday, I think you do 10:30 in the morning, one Wednesday a month, right? Yeah. One Wednesday a month at 10:30, and all the members of the chapter can join the Zoom meeting live. And are you keeping them as attendees without participation until an open question and answer, or are you including them from the beginning as being able to put questions in and so forth like that? How are you doing it?
Great question. So for the first part of your question, like getting the right people in, I mean, you know this as much as I do, that we need to do our homework, right?
Yep.
So I end up following the people, and I try to figure out who they are and what they can bring to the table. And because it's only once a month and not like once a week or something, I'm very, very careful as to whom I'm trying to bring.
Right.
So it has to be someone who can be comfortable on camera. It has to be someone who can speak and really connect with the people. And it has to be someone who's really bringing value to my audience.
Right.
Because they have given me this platform, and I'm so grateful for that. And I've been enjoying it. And so I'm always thinking of, okay, what do I need in my business? What are some of the things that can help me today? And I believe that is something which can help other people also in our industry the same way, right? So it's been great that way. So I try to, like for Adam, I knew when I attended
Design Bloggers.
Yeah, the conference,
right.
Design Bloggers conference, I knew I had to have him. Oh my God, he was just so awesome. I don't think there was anybody in there who did not fall in love with that man.
You're so funny.
Right? I mean, he is like so charismatic. And he really has so much to give. And he is somebody who gives a lot. So I knew I had to have him. And that's where I met Lauren Byrne.
Right,
like
Laura Byrne.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she was also game to it. At that time, she hadn't done a lot of like these webinars or interviews. So she's like, oh, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So that was awesome.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So every time I'm going into networking events or every time I am in certain groups. Now, you're the reason I know Dixie and Rachel, because you told me about them.
Right. And I think, well, we saw each other in LA, and I got to believe that you met Rachel because Rachel was there, and we all got together, multiple times. So that's probably where you all connected originally, right?
Oh, but the fact is I did not know Rachel at that time. So I hadn't connected with her there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, it's crazy. So the point though is that the premise is that it's almost like the premise of the podcast. Like, I mean, honestly, you're interviewing, right. You're just doing it in a different medium, in a different way, and you're doing it through ASID. And so if a designer is listening and they think, I'd sort of like to do this, but I don't want to need to be on my own and launch everything else, you could approach your local design chapter and ask if they want an ambassador, and you could go over to ASID New Jersey on YouTube, where they can see some of the things that you've done there. Remya, what is the YouTube channel? Okay, ASID New Jersey, right? So I really recommend that you go over there. And first of all, it's a library of resources, exactly like Remya is describing. It's an absolute library of resources of different people that she's interviewed that can help you forward and move your business along. So I mean, it's great. And then of course they can duplicate it across chapters if they're interested. So all righty, so that's awesome. I love that. I love that you do it. You're great at it, and you're very curious, and you're you are a good interviewer. I have to say. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. So now go ahead. So what?
Oh, so the second part of it, you asked me what do I use?
Yes. Sorry.
Right. So I do use Zoom, but I don't use the regular Zoom. I actually do the webinar.
Okay.
So the webinars are a little bit different, but it's very similar. In the sense that if somebody already has Zoom on their laptop, then they can get to watch it. And when we are doing it live, it's actually open to everybody, not just the ASID members in New Jersey, but it's open to everyone.
That's nice.
Yeah. So some of the episodes we have actually had a couple of other people who came in and joined. And it's very interactive, but I try to keep that to the end just so that the person who is presenting can go through their entire presentation.
Right.
So I do give them an exact, like I tell them, okay, keep your presentation to like 45 minutes because otherwise you need around 15 minutes. And our chapter is really great. We have people who really ask really great questions during the webinars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Remya, how does somebody listening know how to join this webinar on this day and time? How do they do that?
I do a lot of social media, and like my next one is going to be December, I think 13th at 10 a.m. So once I have the social card out, I basically publish that on social media, on like Pinterest, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and all that.
Okay, and you are at Our Warrior Designs. Where do we follow you? Where are we following? So if somebody wants to be involved in this.
Oh, friend me.
Okay.
Friend me on Facebook.
Okay, and
friend me on Facebook.
So Remya, Remya Warrior. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And who is your next guest in December 13th, or do you not reveal that until it's out?
I am waiting to reveal that actually.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Under wraps.
It's under wraps right now.
Okay.
All right. So, but if somebody is interested and wants to attend, then they should friend you on Facebook, and then you will make sure on Facebook you post, but it's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay.
Yes.
And then they can get the Zoom link and join in and watch the presentation and then take part and ask questions the last 15 minutes.
Exactly.
I love it. And
yeah, and because it's a live webinar, you get to actually see some of the things happening.
Right.
So my last one was Joseph Cephas, as I had said. That was like the VP of Communications for ASID. That one is the only one that was only for ASID members.
Okay.
And they did not want us to put that out.
Okay.
So that was the only thing. But he actually showed us what we need to do on, like, it was a great presentation where he actually showed us what to do and how to do it and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
So that was really cool. Yeah. So a lot of the things, like when Joseph came on for Design Wall, he did the same thing. So it's a live presentation and you actually get to see how you can like change your profile picture and how you need to have your profile set up on each different thing and all that.
Okay.
Right? Because a lot of us, because we can speak about it unless people actually see it happening. Sometimes it's more difficult to get that.
Oh, that's how I am. Like if you just tell it to me, well, I mean, as evidenced by every time I try and go Facebook Live, I can never do it. So
I thought I was the only one.
No, I finally get there, but it's a real mess. Oh man.
Yeah.
All righty. So now let's talk about your top 7 networking tips. You are a very effective networker, and I have to say you have a great way of doing it, of being that you approach people like myself who are complete strangers, but I don't feel like you're in my face, get away from me. Like you just really have it down well. So tell us about what your 7 principles for networking are, Remya.
Okay, so before I get into that, I have to say, like, everything is based on whom you want to have in that networking group, right?
Okay.
So it's all about strategy and about having a system in place.
Right.
So according to Michael, he says you need to have 2 separate lists. One list is where you have your peers, like a network of 90 is what he says. So in that network of 90, you put your peers in, who then you put maybe your contractors in. You put like some of the old clients that you have in. You put some of the clients whom you think are going to give you work in. So that's going to be your, like one group of network, right?
Okay.
The second group of network is a group of 20 people whom you don't know yet, but who are and all of these people have to be professionally relevant to you. It cannot be your mom or your cousin.
Okay.
Okay. So this is all about business.
That's cheating.
Yeah. So the 20 people are the people whom you want to know, but whom you don't know, whom you know if you connect with can help you in your business in some way or form. So for me, I had put you in one of those. Luann. So me trying to approach you was just that, right? I know that you already are way ahead of me in business. But if I want to connect with you, I can't just show up and say, oh, hi, Luann, and then you're not going to remember me.
Right.
And it's not about just being able to impress you. It was about, okay, how can I actually provide value to you so that you will become my friend or so that you will remember me?
Right. Right.
And it's all about that portion of it. It is all about providing value. Right. So all the people whom I had in that list of 20 right now, I can say it was one was Rachel and Dixie. I've already become friends with them. You were there. Adam Japko was there. So I think I do pretty good when it comes to networking.
You are hitting all the bells and whistles there, Remya, I have to say. But it is true because you haven't even told us your 7 steps yet, and I already know that it's exactly what you just said. You just didn't be like, hi, here I am. You came at me, you talked to me, you explained to me what you were doing, and you offered something to me right off the bat. And I never ended up doing it. I never ended up doing the tech talk.
But remember, you were already on my website. We had done that motorization thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. But the thing was, all I mean to say is that a lot of times the person on the other side doesn't even require to get the gift or the offer that you're bringing. It's the fact that it comes in that sort of conversation. So, and within 5 minutes, then I got to know your personality. And I have to say, Remya, this is like a little corny, but I really do want to say this. You are so heart first. Within 5 or 6 minutes of speaking with you, I was just like, okay, this is like one of my people for life now. Like, I just know that about you. And so then it became, well, okay, all right, then, you want to do the video? All right, fine, whatever. You know what I mean? So,
thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
No, I mean it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I do. I mean it a lot. It's the truth. So, okay. So your first thing is your first tip then is to make a list, and the first list is people who are your peers, contractors, vendors, possibly old clients, possibly clients who you think might have future business for you, and then your second list, and that list should be 90 people. You said.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is 90 people.
Okay. And then your second list is 20 people who you'd like to know, that you feel are a little ahead of you on the business curve, that you're saying that maybe could mentor you, teach you, inform you, or just inspire you, just somebody that you just would like to reach out and have a conversation with.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And what happens once we have our list? What do you do then?
Okay. So once we have these 2 lists, then there are 7 things that you can do, right? So if you have a list of 90 people, the first thing is you're going to introduce 2 people to each other, right? So now everybody in my list is not going to know each other.
Right.
So you're going to put some thought into it, because the entire thing about networking, it's not like how we were taught. I mean, like taught to do, or like initially I remember networking. Oh my God, I used to cringe at the word networking, right? Whereas now this networking, it's all about providing value to others.
Right.
And it's about trying to really work, it should be all about love and abundance. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at it going, not, okay, how can I get something out of it? Whereas you're looking at, okay, how can I provide value to these people? So you're putting in a lot of thought into it. And you're saying, okay, I need to introduce 2 people today from my list. A was not going to know me, but they might have something in common and they might want to connect.
Okay.
Right? So I can tell you an example. So let's say I meet somebody, and I know this person is probably going to be really good on your podcast.
Right.
Is probably going to provide value to you. So I'm like going, oh, you know what, Luann, you have to meet this person.
Right.
I think this person can help you, and maybe you can help each other. But then after that, I let you both take it because maybe this person is good or maybe it's not good.
Right. But the thing is, what's always remembered is that you try to do something for each of us. We each individually remember that. That's good. I like that.
Exactly. And you're putting a lot of thought into it. Like, okay, how can this person serve that person? Or it might just be that one person can serve the other person and maybe they just need help and it might be a referral or something.
Right.
But a lot of thought does go into it. But both of you remember me and I'm in front of your mind as well.
Right.
Right? For the right reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second thing that you do is you share compassion with one person from your list of 90. And sharing compassion can be like recently one of my peers' mom died. And I know she was devastated. Now, this is something which you would probably do anyway naturally.
Right.
Right? But when you have that list of 90, you are actually looking for different ways of doing it. And even though this person is not the person whom you're supposed to be in touch with that particular day, here is an opportunity where you show that, and it's compassion. You're reaching out to the other person because you know that person is really going through a tough time. And another thing which I did recently is Thanksgiving is always like one of my, the time that I really enjoy and I love it. And that's the time when I actually look back into, okay, who has helped me this year? Who has mentored me or made me a better person or something like that. And I reached out to like 5 people. That's it, 5 people. But I know, but each person got like a heartfelt letter from me. And I know at the other end, that person can feel it.
Remya,
right?
I'm going to say to you, I got an email from you on Thanksgiving. And I want to say to everyone listening, it wasn't this big, long thing. It was 2 or 3 lines. It was very personal. It was very specific and special. And I have to say, it really was very nice to get. And it made me smile. It made me happy. And it made me say exactly what I said 10 minutes ago. You're a person that leads with your heart. And the thing is that what I want to say about it is that sometimes we think when we hear something like this, we're doing an interview right now and you're like, hey, on Thanksgiving, I sent out 5 special notices to, special messages to people. And you may have sent 5 handwritten long letters to somebody else. I'm not supposing where I was in that mix. I just know
you are in that.
Okay, because I just know I got one.
Definitely.
I got a message from you. And the thing is, I have to say, a lot of times we hear something like this. So now you're listening and you're like, oh, well, send a thank you letter on Thanksgiving. It's like so cheesy. It's so cliche. And no, I'm telling you what, I saw it. I noticed it. I was like, oh my goodness. And if you and I weren't going to talk again this, 3-5 days later, I would have really, but I just smiled. I was just like, oh my goodness, this woman is something else. So I'm just attesting to the value of it. It is true. And you know what? I think and I guess what I want to say too is this is part of a system of networking that you do. And even knowing that, I still don't care. I still could feel the genuine, authentic thanking of it in there. And I appreciate it and value it. Thank you. Back.
Right. Thank you. And honestly, at that point, we weren't even going to talk about this.
No.
We were going to talk about something else.
Right, we had a different topic.
No idea.
Right, that you were going to say this. Exactly.
Yes.
No, you just were sending me a thank you.
No idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I love it.
Because for this year, when I watch, or when I listen to your podcast, it has made a huge impact in my life. So that's why I chose you as one of those people, one of those 5 to send that to.
Thank you.
Everybody did not get it, so it was definitely hard.
I'm telling you, it's funny. We say it all the time, thank people, but it really does work. So, it just makes the other person feel like it's all worthwhile, like what you're doing is worthwhile.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Okay, so we're going to, from the list of 90 people, we're going to introduce 2 people to each other, and then we're going to share compassion with somebody. Do we do this every month? I didn't ask that. Is it like every week?
You'll do it every day. Sorry.
Every
I probably should have said that.
No wonder you're such a good networker. Okay, so what's the third thing?
Okay, and I will tell, even though it's 7 things, I can tell you every day, if you take around 30 minutes to do at least a couple of these things.
Right.
That's all you need.
Right.
And I mean, initially it might take you a little bit longer to do, like maybe say 2 or 3 of these things. But then as you keep doing it, you can get it from like 30 to 20 minutes to 10 minutes.
Right. I understand.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So the third thing that you do is you're sharing useful information with one of these people from your list of 90.
Okay.
And when I say useful information, it can be, okay, so one of the things I know that I get asked a lot is, okay, how much does it cost to do a kitchen remodel in New Jersey? Mm-hmm. Right? That's a very common question. I can find one of the, something that is, I have like a written, it wasn't written by me. It is actually something that I found on house.com. Mm-hmm. But I know that particular one is something that can help a lot of my clients. So I share that article, especially when I know, oh, today I know this person needs that. Like this might be somebody whom I'm actually working with, or I know is looking to do their kitchen. And guess what? That is something which is going to be useful to them.
Okay. And because
so I'm sharing that.
And it's okay if you're the person that wrote it, but if you didn't write it, even is more altruistic is the point when the person receives it. Yep. Okay, cool.
Absolutely. Right. Or it could be something that I just read from New York Times today. Right. And I know that, oh, okay, let's say, I mean, and I feel like, oh my God, Luann is going to get such a kick out of this. I send that to you, right. And you would actually get a kick out of it.
Right.
And you know that I'm thinking about you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it can be, as simple as that. So that's number 3. Now, the fourth one is reaching out to someone whom you don't know, but who wants to be professionally relevant.
Okay.
So when you're approaching a person from this list of 20 that we spoke about, you cannot just do some of these other things because they're not yet in that same level. Mm-hmm. Right? Initially, if I had just sent you like an email about something, right. You would probably not even look at it.
Right. I'd be like, who is this crazy lady sending me this?
Exactly. So the way you approach them is slightly different. It is about being able to actually show them that you're going to be valuable to them and you're not just going there to ask a favor from them. Because I'm sure a lot of people ask you for favors.
Right. Well, we all get that. I'm sure we all do. Yeah.
Yes. But like the first time I'm meeting you, if I had come and talked to you and I said, oh, Luann, I want to be on your show.
Right.
You'll be like, who's this lady?
Back that up a little bit.
Exactly. So you have to know how to convert this list of 20 into your list of 90, and then you start doing the rest. And I think we did cover a lot of how you try to provide value to these list of 20 people anyway, in the beginning, right? Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the fifth one, and this is probably pretty important, give one referral or a LinkedIn recommendation or a testimonial or an online review for these people in your list of 90.
Oh.
Right? So if you are giving a referral or if you are actually putting yourself out there and you're writing a recommendation for somebody else without them even asking for it, think of how much value you're giving to that person.
Right.
Right? And on my website, you can see I have a lot of recommendations. It didn't happen just like that. I'm just saying. I work it.
That's it. I love it, though. But it's true because, we don't often think about it. Look, you guys hear me ask you practically every week to please leave a rate and review in iTunes, because if you don't think about it, you don't think about it. That's just it. You just don't,
exactly.
And what's so funny is, I have to tell you what's funny for me is, I will get people coming at me every day through private message and sharing these amazing things that they've learned from the podcast and the value that it's bringing them and this and that and the other. And they're so happy and so grateful and they love it. And it's amazing for me. I just love it. And I'm smiling ear to ear. And I want to go, could you write that in iTunes, please? You know what I'm saying? And some I do and some I feel like, I shouldn't ask, but it's what you're saying is to go and do it for somebody who hasn't asked asked you to do it. And of course, you could do it for your colleagues. You know, an interior designer, go put a review in-house for her, go put a review on Yelp or something or Google for him or her. But, you know, you also could do it for the contractor that you work with, your kitchen designer. You could do it for the painter that you work with in your interior design. I mean, talk about making their day. If I ever, you know, like, honestly, if I ever, you know, at Window Works, if half the designers that we worked with ever thought to go put a review, it would be like, whoa, oh, wow, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it is. It's interesting.
Yes. And then the sixth one is actually you're asking for a testimonial or you're asking for a referral. Because guess what? If you don't ask, you don't get anything.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I just said. I have to ask every week.
Yes.
And
I know. You already beat me to that one.
Sorry. Stole your thunder.
And the seventh one, which is probably one of the toughest things for me, is make one offer each day to have a sales conversation. Because at the end of the day, we are all here. I mean, we are all salespeople.
Yep.
You can be the best designer, but we're still in sales, right?
Yes.
So you have to ask for that sale.
You're talking my love language now, Remya. You know that.
I know. And no matter how much I know that is where I actually have trouble. Too.
Okay, so tell me what that means in your day-to-day. What do you mean by you're making one offer each day to have a sales conversation? Tell me what you're talking about.
Okay. So one is, okay, how do you get a sales conversation? Like every single day, all of us designers, we don't have an opportunity to actually have a sales conversation, right? Mm-hmm. But then you have to focus on, okay, where can I get my next a person who's going to be interested in me so that I can have a sales conversation? So you're constantly thinking about that, which means you're basically putting in a lot of effort to make sure that there's a sales cycle so that you can actually ask for a sales conversation. Makes sense?
Yes, but I'm
all comes down to all that.
So give me a real life example of the type of things that you're talking about that you would do when this is on your list.
Oh, okay. So there is this one particular client that I'm working with, and I just need her to tell me what she wants to order or something. Right. And it's not always a good conversation, right? I mean, this is actually a little bit more of a difficult conversation, I would say. But I just want her, instead of ordering 3 different things at 3 different times, I want her to order it once so that I can have my paperwork done and do it once, and I can actually,
complete the project?
Complete the project.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Complete the project and then make sure that it is. So I have to basically pick up that phone and make sure that I convey that to her.
Okay.
And people are very, very hesitant. I know, like a lot of designers are like me. They don't want to do that kind of a tough job. So, and probably that's not a good example over here.
Well, but okay. So what you're expressing to me is that if you're working with a particular client in real time and maybe she's got to give you the approval and the money for, say, the appliances, the backsplash, and the flooring, you want this all at one time. And you're saying that sometimes is something that you have to talk yourself through to make that call.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy, yes. Remya. You know that, right?
Well, it's actually, I know it is.
Now I'm laughing, but you know what? I don't mean to make fun of it. And but my point is though, that I'm going to say to you, I'm going to go back to you with what you said to us with the networking to bringing value. Go to the value that it is for her when you can place all the orders at one time, when all the moving pieces are all being handled by you at one time. It makes it for better focus, that you can make sure that everything has been done, the details are done, there's no loose ends, and that everything gets executed and delivered timely. Like focus on the value that she gets by you getting all of your money at one time and placing an order. So you're thinking about, I want a lot of money at one point and it's making my life easier. You're forgetting what it's doing for her life.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true, because a lot more mistakes can be done.
That's right. Exactly
a lot more
right.
mistakes can be avoided. That's very true.
That's
right.
Thank
you.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. I got coached by Luann.
That's it. That's it. But that's the truth. It's your same principle. What can I do for you? Think about, you're forgetting what you are doing for your client has great value. And because the byproduct that is that you get a bigger check at one time and that you get your work done more efficiently on your end, that's great. That's gravy. But it's bringing value to her, too. Real value. Because I know orders that are placed at the same time are way more organized than orders that are piecemeal placed.
Right.
And just explain it to her. Tell her.
Yeah.
You're eventually going to, look, you're not going to have a kitchen without backsplash, so let's just get this thing done. Come on, stop.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, exactly. That is so true.
Yeah, no. And I just was thinking about it when we were on number 6, ask for a referral or ask for a testimonial. Mm-hmm. Did you hear the show with Lisa Escobar? It was a couple of weeks ago. She's from Las Vegas, and she does something that I think is really, and I'm going to bring this up incessantly over the next couple of months like a broken record because I thought it was a terrific thing that she does. She tells people in the beginning of her process, when she is going over her contract with them, as they're signing the contract, she has it right in there. I will ask you for a review when this process is done. Right?
Cool. Yeah, that's okay.
Great. So what I liked about that is because for anybody that struggles at that last thing, it's all done, everybody's happy, and should I ask for a review now? It's sort of like me. Like I said, like when somebody comes and really gives me a nice compliment for the podcast, it's like, I want to say, oh, that's so terrific. Would you write a review? But it feels like somebody just thanked me and now I'm asking for something else. And that feels yucky. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't have the opportunity on the front end. They you know what I'm saying? And
right.
So I can understand sometimes when you finish a project, if you struggle with that, I thought that it was so clever to just say on the front end. And here's why I thought it was clever. And I said it on the show also, is because when you say it on the front end that I'm going to ask you for a review when we're done our work together, I think instead of a client hearing it like, oh, you're going to ask something from me when we're done, I think as a client you hear, you're asking me right now to review you, so you know that I'm going to be thinking about that through this whole process. So you're probably going to bring your A game to me. Because you're putting me up front on notice to evaluate my performance. And so I felt like if anybody struggles with asking for a referral or asking for a review, by asking for it on the front end, and that would work with a referral too, you could simply say, we're doing the whole letter of agreement and going through it. And one of the things that I'm going to do, you can even say 2 things. What the heck? Go for both. At the end of this process, I'm going to ask you for 2 things. I'm going to ask you to please write a review for me for my website or house.com or Google, whatever it is. And I'm going to ask you for a referral. You know what I mean? And so it's, right. I just think it's terrific. So it makes it a little bit easier. Don't you agree? Do you think that?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty genius.
And I've also heard this, saying that don't wait till the end.
Yes.
That's something which I've heard. And I try to do it even before I complete a job.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem asking for a referral or a recommendation sometimes.
Okay.
Or a testimonial. Because and I try to get it on camera nowadays. So I have a lot of video testimonials.
That's nice.
And some of them are not even on because they wanted to make sure that I only show a couple of people and not put it on all over the web. Okay. So I do have some that I haven't put it on, but some people were very happy to give it to me. So yeah, I don't have a problem asking for it. But one of the things that I have learned through the process is don't wait till the end. Strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, the end is a tough thing because not everything is so peachy all the time at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to remind them of, oh my God, now just remember this feeling. Remember the feeling that when you're walking in and when you have that moment, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah. No, I think it's great.
Yeah, especially when they're happy with you. That's when you ask for the referral. Or the testimonial.
Right.
Because then they're happy to do it.
There must be other ways that you have to do number 7 too. When you say make one offer each day for a sales conversation, you must mean also, networking cold calls, right?
Yes. So some of them could be cold calls. Some of them can be somebody in your list whom has opened certain emails. Reach out to that person.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I have those 3 different kinds of emails. And if they click on one, then I know they're interested. That's why they've already clicked on it. So
Okay.
it could be as simple as reaching out to them and asking, okay, is there anything I can help you with?
Okay, so what you're describing is like we had Kay Whitaker on the show a week or two ago, and she talked about an email sequence. And what you're describing is you have 3 separate email sequences set up for your website. Okay. Let's see. I know what they are too. I have them. 9 layers of kitchen design, 9 layers of interior design, and avoid buyer's remorse. Tips on buying a sofa and a chair. Are those the 3 things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you're saying is based on whoever clicks on each of those 3 lead magnets, they go into a particular funnel and they get a particular series of emails. And during the course of those emails going out to them, you can see who has opened any of those emails. And what you're saying is every once in a while, or whatever it is, or every day, every week, whatever it is, you'll look through and see somebody who has opened an email but has not then taken the next
Any
step.
action.
Right.
Yes.
And so you'll just cold call them and say, hey, you know what? I saw you open my email on 10 tips to buying a sofa. Are you in the market for buying a sofa now? Like what, or is there anything else I can help you with or answer for you? Is that what you do?
Exactly. So, but here's the one portion of the email sequences. Sometimes I don't get the phone numbers, right?
Okay.
All I have is their email.
Okay.
But I know exactly who all have opened it. And if somebody's opening it, like you mentioned, that person has to be looking for sofa. Otherwise, why would you want to even look at it?
Right.
It's an ebook.
Right.
So if somebody is doing that, then yeah, it means they are doing it. So what I can do is actually reach out to them, even if it is an email. I can reach out to them personally and ask them, how can I help you with the sofa, or how can I help you, right?
Right.
And that counts for a sales conversation, even if I'm not picking up the phone because I don't know their phone number.
Right. Exactly. You're doing an outreach to put some business in your pipeline. I love it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
I love it. I think this is awesome. So I'm just going to review your 7 steps of networking. So the first, before we do our 7 steps, is we're going to make our list of 90 people that are our peers, contractors, old clients who you think might order from you again in the future. Then your list of 20 people who you want to know, people that you would like to connect with, people that you feel that, can help you in some way. And then you have a way that you think you feel you can help them as well. Then number 1 is, from the list of 90 people, introduce 2 people to each other and help them make the introduction and walk away. Let them take it from there. Number 2 is share compassion with 1 person from your list of 90. Number 3 is share useful information to your list of 90, to someone on your list of 90. Could be an article you wrote. You met somebody at an ASID meeting and they were interested in green design and you came across an article and now you forward it to them. Anything, right? Yep. Okay. 4, reach out to someone you don't know from your list of your 20 people. Like make that step out. Okay. 5, give 1 referral review on LinkedIn, anywhere to somewhere from your list of 90 people. And then 6 is ask for a referral or a testimonial. And 7 is make an offer each day to start a sales conversation. This is awesome. I love it. It's very actionable.
Thank you.
It really is.
Which means you're touching at least 8 people per day without even leaving your office. Right?
Yeah.
So you are like a powerful networker if you keep doing it because you're providing value to the other people.
Right. And the truth is, it's as you said, Remya, it doesn't have to take hours. It really can be done in under a half hour. You really can. And I think look, I've watched you. I mean, I know that you were, I don't know how big your network was before you and I met, but I've watched, the network grow, not because of me, but just all of these things that you're doing. Like you said, meeting Rachel and Adam and everybody else. And it just really just does. I mean, like you said, you're interviewing Joe and Sarah and all these people now. It's like it really does work. And who knows how it all comes back, but making the world a little smaller, one little designer at a time.
Exactly. I mean, and this really works because a lot of the designers whom I speak to, right? A lot of them, I ask them, okay, so and people especially people who are struggling,
Right.
When I ask them, okay, so and people who have been doing this a long time, because we all know that the way business was 10 years ago is not how business is
Right.
today. Yeah. So when I talk to these designers, they tell me one thing: how did you get your business before? It was all from prior clients or prior, but it's always been referral, right? And yet we don't have a referral strategy in place.
Right.
So guess what? If you're putting all your ex-clients in this funnel, you're reaching out to them on a constant basis, not always just asking them, okay, can I come in and help you again?
Right.
That's not what you're doing. You're actually providing value to them.
Right.
And they are going to be like, oh my God, this person is so great. So whenever they're thinking of it, you're the first person whom they're going to think about.
That's right. That's
so
right.
It's a great way of building your referral strategy.
Yeah, it really is. You're really talking about very simple, human things. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
on a very base, simple human level, you're putting into 7 steps the way that you can make meaningful connections with people, for people, and, whatever. I mean, it really is. It's not, it's founded in just goodness, really. That's all.
It really is.
Yeah, it really is. And it's awesome. I love it. I think it's great. And I'm so grateful to have gotten to know you this last year. I think it's really fun. And you are a remarkable woman, Remya. I really am so happy that we've become friends.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, all right. So if everybody wants to see, we didn't even talk about your design. I mean, I usually don't talk a whole lot about the design, but you are here and I'll put it, was in the introduction and so forth, but we are ourwarriordesigns.org, right?
Yes.
ourwarriordesigns.org. And then if people want to see what you're doing with TED Talk, they can go to YouTube and search ASID New Jersey.
New Jersey and Tech Talk.
And Tech Talk. Both searches will bring it up.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's awesome. The Tech Talks are terrific. They're a valuable resource for designers out there. So it's like I said, it's like the process of the podcast, but video. So it's awesome. Mm-hmm. All righty. Well, thank you so much for being on my show, Remya.
Thank you for having me, Luann. You have people like Candace Olsen and all.
You're right there next to her, babe.
And I'm right here.
That's
awesome.
it. You're right there next to her.
So for everybody who is listening, see that this is what you can do if you really work on your network.
That's awesome. So how about those 7 steps, right? I love it. And you know what? They're not that hard to do. Not really. Especially if you do, like I always say, put yourself on the other side. I mean, you could talk yourself out of nearly anything when you only think about you and your side. All right? It's just like the woman we discussed with the ordering in the show with Remya. We all know that our work gets done more efficiently when it's done in order and all at one time when the details are clear. So say that to your client. It's okay to say that because it's true. Lead with the advantage for your client. The only caveat is that it actually must be true. Because if you lead with something that is just coercion or persuasion and it really doesn't ring true, then, people know that. But if your reasoning is genuine, whether the other side, whether your client, whoever it is that you're talking to, agrees to the conditions or the request or not, it doesn't matter because it's never taken for something that it's not. In other words, somebody's might still opt to not order all at one time, but they're not offended that you asked for because you've explained that it was for their benefit. Okay, I hope you understand. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so I really liked Remya's advice. I hope you did too. I thought that it was very actionable. And I also like that what she said is you don't necessarily have to do all 7 steps every day. Do 2, 3 a day, 1 a day. Look, if you're doing none of these now, 1 a day would be a terrific start. But everything takes intention. Okay. So this is one of those shows where you could scribble all the notes down and then like a month from now, I'll have another conversation with somebody about networking and you go, oh yeah. Like when I heard her with Remya and they had that list, where is that list? So this is the type of thing that I suggest you take these 7 things, you write them down and put them in front of you at your desk. So that even if it's not going to be the habit of all centuries, where every single morning you do your sit-ups and you do your 7 steps, right? Even if it's just at a moment when you're sitting at your desk, you look over at the list and you think, I could connect 2 people now. Or, I could send this article to my friend because it would be helpful to him or her. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Making it an intention, but making it a reasonable intention, right? And especially, I would say, if you don't have a full pipeline for Q1, then I want to tell you do all 7 steps every day. That's all I'm saying. And I'll bet you fill that pipeline. All righty, now, you heard about my new coaching course starting this January 4th, right? 6 weeks to success. I'm co-coaching with Nancy Ganskaufer again. This course is a business checkup. It's basically, truly, the 6 steps that we do every year at WindowWorks to make sure our ship is headed in the right direction. Vin and myself, and some of these steps we involve our employees in. Kimberly is involved, Rich is in, Billy. But we definitely, Vinny and I definitely, we sit down and we analyze the operations side of our business, every single thing, okay? We analyze each of our employees' strengths, weaknesses. Are they in the right positions? What are they doing, okay? We analyze ourselves. Are we working in our zone of genius? What the heck are we doing anyway? All right? We look in detail at our previous year's marketing, and we use that information to set the new marketing budget. We figure out exactly what it costs for us to be open every single month. And we use this number with other factors to set our sales goals for the coming year. So you can hear it. This course is valuable, whether you are brand new in business or you are 35 years in business like us. And if you have never done these exercises in your business, well, I'm just saying, I really think you should. If you're interested in this, go over to www.luannigara.com/6 weeks. That's LUANNIGARA.com/6 weeks. And also, I've been telling you, masterminds are forming for the beginning of January as well. It's very limited number of designers that can be in these groups and very specific criteria. The group has to gel, the group has to fit. So to see if you're a fit, if you want to be placed in a mastermind and to see if you're a fit, email me at info@luannigara.com and let me know that you're interested in masterminds, and I will reach out and we'll have a conversation and we'll figure out where you fit. All righty. In the spirit of the holidays, if you are enjoying the show and you are learning something, please do me a solid and refer it to a buddy. And please leave me a review in iTunes. I really appreciate it. I'm going to tell you what, I do appreciate all the emails, the notes, and the private messages. I truly, truly, truly do. But just like your house reviews or your Google reviews, the reviews on iTunes are the social proof. So when I talk to sponsors and when I talk to various other people in the industry, this is the social proof. I can hardly bring up my Instagram private messages and say, here, this is what they think. So anyway, if you have yet to leave a review, I would be so grateful if you did. And like I said, share the show with a buddy if it's helping you. Thanks so much, everyone. Have an excellent day. Thank you for joining me again today for another episode of A Well-Designed Business. This podcast is a production of WindowWorks in Livingston, New Jersey, your trade resource for custom window treatments and awnings. Learn more about WindowWorks at www.windowworks-nj.com. All of our music is original music by Room 2 Productions. Please contact us if you want to learn more about original music for your business or your events.